Welcome to a world with limitless possibilities. A world where pain and suffering are matched only by the sounds of those who endure it. Welcome to your nightmare.
Welcome to your nightmare.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nightmare. For tonight's episode, I'm going to be narrating two stories for you. First of which is going to be a story called We Live Underground Because the King Let His Daughter Live. Credited to Reddit user Are You Serious? And that's ARYU Serious. I hope you all enjoy this story. There was a law in the bones of the land. I learned it before I learned how to polish silver in the king's halls. No daughter of the crown shall ever carry life, or the sky will split and pour its black teeth upon the fields. The old priests said the curse was older than the soil itself. They whispered that the first queen once birthed a god, and that the god opened its eyes and became a beast. So the daughters died. I helped dig two of the graves when I was younger. Small ones. Too small to be called graves at all. Some daughters were strangled in their cradles before the midwives finished washing them. Some were taken to the sea, with stones sewn into their gowns. Most were buried before their names were ever written. The king prayed through it all, though his hands were always bloody afterwards. But the last one, the final daughter, they let her live. No one ever told us why. Perhaps the king's heart cracked at last. Perhaps he forgot what grief costs. Or perhaps he had simply grown tired of digging graves behind the chapel. I saw her grow. Silent child, watchful. She walked the palace halls like someone listening to things the rest of us could not hear. There was something strange in the way she stood in the moonlight. Too still, like a statue remembering how to breathe. The servants whispered constantly. They said she hummed to the walls at night. I heard it once while carrying coal to the kitchens. A thin little tune drifting through the stone like it had no mouth. Some swore she left no footprints in the dust. Others said she spent hours in the locked library reading the same book. Then, one winter, she began to swell. No man had touched her. We all knew it. Yet her belly grew day by day, and the kingdom began to rot with it. The cattle stopped giving milk. Bread came out of the ovens full of black feathers. Children were born with their mouths sealed shut, like wax dolls. Even the scarecrows in the field started whispering when the wind passed through them. The king summoned her to the throne. I was there that day, standing behind the pillars with the other servants, trying not to breathe too loudly. She walked in barefoot. Her hair hung over her face like a veil she had grown herself, and she smiled. Not the way children smile. "Let me fix it," she said. Then she went into the chapel and locked the doors behind her. 9 days passed. No one entered, no one dared. The bells did not ring, and the priests refused to speak the prayers aloud. We simply waited. On the 9th day, the doors opened. She came out carrying a bundle. I remember how quiet the room became when we saw the child. It wasn't crying, just breathing, faint and thin, wrapped in frostbitten parchment. The cord was still around its neck, looped 3 times like a crown. She walked straight to the throne. No one stopped her. Not the guards, not the priests, not even the king. She bent down, kissed the child's head gently, and drove a silver knife into its chest. The baby did not scream, but the sky did. The sound was so loud the windows cracked. Blood began seeping from the castle bricks as if the walls themselves had veins. Ravens outside the tower windows turned in the air and flew backwards. I swear the statues in the hall lowered their heads and covered their eyes. The king whispered, "It is done." But it wasn't. The princess suddenly doubled over. Her hands clutched her stomach like something inside her had answered the knife. "I hear it," she said. Then she collapsed. At first I thought it was grief or pain. But then we all heard it. A knocking. Soft. Inside her. Another. Her knees struck the marble floor. As the land itself seemed to shudder. Later, we heard what happened beyond the palace walls. Rivers turning to mirrors. People drowning in puddles while staring at their reflections. Fields splitting to grow teeth instead of grain. She stared at her stomach as something pushed outward from beneath the skin. But the second child never came. It stayed inside her, and it was awake. It curled something behind her heart and began to grow. It had no mouth, yet it spoke. The princess said it sang nursery rhymes against her ribs like someone scratching on a coffin. "Mother, mother, eat the sun. Let me out when all is done." After that, she changed. Her skin thinned like paper. Her spine bent backwards until she could walk sideways through the palace halls. Sometimes I saw her shadow move before she did, stretching along the walls as if it were tasting the stone. The kingdom begged for an end. People prayed for fire, for salt, even for plague if it meant forgetting. The king could not bear it. One night, he forced his own crown down his throat. It took 3 days for him to die. When they carried the body out, gold was leaking from his eyes. But she remained. Still wandering, still carrying something that had never learned death. And the sun has not returned since. It hangs somewhere behind the clouds, watching, but never rising. We live underground now, most of us who survived. I keep the old chapel keys, even though the chapel is long gone. At night, we sing lullabies in the dark to keep the crying away. Because sometimes in the tunnels, you hear a baby crying. But there is never a baby. And if you hear it, do not answer. Do not search. Do not speak. Because it is still trying to be born again. And it remembers us.
Well, I don't know about you, but that story definitely gave me the creeps, and I really enjoyed narrating it. Well, without further ado, let's move on to our next one. This story is called I Think I Accidentally Sold My Soul, credited to Ragecore Gaming on Reddit No Sleep. I didn't mean to do it, but I'm pretty sure I sold my soul last week. I'm not sure what else to do. I've tried more than you think. Everything except the one thing. Because I want to live. More than I did before. I didn't agree to anything I know of. I was just keeping to myself. Just me and my dog, Saber. I have to be quick in explaining this, so forgive me if it seems a bit scattered. I've had a very rough year so far. My best friend passed away in a horrible accident, and he was the only one that truly understands me. My ex-girlfriend couldn't stand to see the way I coped with games and long nights in the car just listening to music, so she left me too. When times get hard, they always leave. It's hard right now, and I don't have JT to get me out of this. He always seems to have the answers. Work has put more on me, saying to me, if I stay busy, then things in my life will move along faster. Well, maybe I want to be left alone and feel. Maybe I just want my friend back. Maybe if I tell you what my past few days were like, you could help me. Saber needed food, and I probably should start eating. I went to a nearby Kroger. As I'm approaching the door, this homeless-looking guy walks up to me, instantly begging for food or for me to buy him something. Me, not wanting to be bothered, ignored him as I walked in. I found the things I needed and headed out of the store. The guy says out loud, "I just need a little help, brother, that's all." I felt bad, but I felt more angry with the world, so I didn't care. I fell asleep that night, watching anime with Saber in my lap, and woke up to some type of church show on my TV. Never have I had that happen. My streaming channel only has anime and doesn't even have religious stuff on it. I turned it off and got ready for work. I went in slightly earlier than normal, so it was still kind of dark this morning. Someone I didn't recognize was standing by the door smoking a cigar. It smelled weird, like burning paint would smell. He said, "Hey, would you?" And before he could get another word out, I said no. I just was over it with people and really didn't want to be bothered. I could hear him faintly say, "Perfect attitude to have about it." I didn't care to think what that even meant. I stayed late at work, and it started to get dark. Also, I started to get a bit of a headache and a muscle ache type feeling in my left arm. I got home and could hear the TV on, which is odd because I didn't leave it on. Also, my dog didn't greet me like he always does. I called out to him, a bit worried, but nothing. I rushed to the living room, looking for him in a spot and didn't see him. I went to the living room where the TV was on and saw him sleeping on the couch. That same church service show was on TV. Right as I'm turning it off, I can hear the preacher saying something that is sticking out to me in the moment.
He knows you better than you.
I hear a knock on the door, loud enough to wake me and Saber up. This angered me because it's late, and don't hit my door like that, right? I get to the door, and as I'm approaching, I can smell that same burnt smell again. I open the door, and it's the man from work who was by the door. Same suit, same smell. Like something burnt, but not a burnt scent you could recognize. He's holding this paper. It looked old, like some parchment type stuff. He starts talking to me calmly.
I just need you to take a look at it.
I cut him off. I'm not signing anything. Whatever it is, just no. I was already irritated. I wasn't about to stand there and listen to somebody pitch something at me. He kind of paused. Then he adjusted his huge, stupid-looking hat slowly, like something about that answer mattered. The way he looked at me after that, I don't really know how to explain it. It wasn't angry. It was like I just did exactly what he expected. Then he smirked.
Well, okay, Mr. Marcus.
And he reached his hand out. I didn't even think about it. I just took it. As soon as I did, I kind of snapped back. But wait, how do you know my name? He didn't answer, just nodded a little and said,
Take care.
Then he turned and started walking off. I was already heated at this point. Next time I see you, I'm calling the cops for stalking. He stopped for a second, didn't turn around, then just kept walking. Like, who does he think he is? I went back inside and just tried to wind down for the night. Put something on and sat there with Saber. I didn't think anything more of it at the time. I woke up to my TV volume maxed out with some preacher yelling,
Praise God.
I turned it off quickly and just sat there for a second. Saber was already looking at me, just staring. My left arm had that ache again, worse this time. It feels like it's in my bones or something. I went to the bathroom to wash my face, and that's when I saw it. Thought it was ink at first, right in the middle of my palm. It looked like a number. 25. Like it was scratched in with a stick or something. I tried to wash it off. Nothing. There's also this line. It runs from my palm, up my arm. Looks like a vein. But it's too straight. It goes all the way up to my chest, right where my heart is. I went to my doctor. I didn't really know what else to do. I showed him my hand first, told him something wasn't right. He just kept looking at me, then back at my hand. What exactly am I supposed to be seeing? I thought he was joking at first. I pointed right at it, the number, the line going up my arm. He still didn't see anything. Not even the line. He had me fill out this form, questions about sleep, mood, appetite. I told him that's not what this is. He checked my temperature, said I have a fever, prescribed something for that, then started talking about stress. Suggested something to help me sleep. I tried to explain it again before I left. He just said, I don't see anything on your arm. I left. The only guy I can really talk to at work is Derek. He's kind of a conspiracy guy, so I figured if anyone's seen something like this, it'd be him. I took a picture of my hand, my arm, my chest, and sent it to him. I texted, Hey, do you know what this is? Have you seen this before? He texted back a minute later, What? Like confused, not even joking. I thought he was messing with me. I went back and looked at the picture I sent him. That's when I noticed it. The number wasn't 25 anymore. It was 23. I looked down at my hand. It said 23 there too. I don't know when it changed. I didn't see it happen. It just went down. Derek sent another text. Why are you sending me close-ups like that? I asked him if he could see the number or the line on my arm. He said he had no idea what I was talking about. Said it just looked like a hand and an arm, nothing else. I didn't go to work the next day. I stayed home. Tried to figure out what this even is. I looked it up, forums, Google, even asked AI. Nothing made sense. One person on a forum told me to try and watch it change. Said if I could see it happen, I'd understand it better. I tried. I've been stuck on this for a couple days now, barely slept. Just sitting around the house, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. I tried watching it again. Same thing. It doesn't move while I'm looking at it. I could blink, and it's lower within that split second. It's 14 now. No one can see it. Not in person, not in pictures, not on video. Saber used to sleep at the foot of my bed. Now he stays on the floor. That's not even the worst part. It seems the lower the number gets, things feel off. I keep feeling like I need to look behind me. Not like I heard something, more like if I don't check, something's going to be there and take me. I've seen him a few times now. Not straight on, just out of the corner of my eye. Tall, dark, ominous. Always somewhere in the distance. Every time I turn to look, nothing's there. The cops could barely find anything and believes I'm prank calling. Yesterday was different. I was sitting at my computer trying to look up some more stuff, and I could see him in the reflection. Not in the room. Outside. Through the window behind me. I turned around quickly, gone. I went to the window and looked out. It was there, across the street, just standing in my neighbor's yard. I opened the window and yelled, "Hey!" He waved. I ran to the door and swung it open. Nobody. But out of the corner of my eye, it was like he was sitting on my couch. I didn't want to look. I knew if I looked straight at him, he'd be gone. So I just started moving toward it. Slow. My arm started hurting again. More like pressure. I just went for it and dove at the couch. Nothing. Right after that, the TV came on. Same church show, already playing. I don't know why, but I thought maybe this is the one thing I haven't tried. So I just stood there and watched it. And then the screen froze. I checked my hand. It's on 3. I've been so tired, I didn't even realize it was so low. But I knew, because he was closer. So close, I could hear him breathing. Not just behind me, but closer than that. I'm afraid to go to sleep now. I don't know how this countdown works. It could be 1 right now, or 0 in the next minute. I thought that mattered. But as I'm writing this, it doesn't. I'm already at 1. He's so close now. I can see his face. Not fully, just enough. It's very wrong. Like it's trying to look human and can't. I stopped trying to look at him directly. I don't think I want to see all of it. It's not just the breathing being heard anymore. I can feel it. His breath is on the left side of my face. Cold, but it burns. Like that icy hot feeling. I tried the Bible. When I open it, the pages are blank. All of them. Even online, nothing shows up. If anyone knows what this is or what I'm supposed to do, please tell me. I don't think I have much time left. Saber's been acting weird. Going back and forth between whining and growling. He won't come near me. But he won't leave either. I think he can see it. Or at least, he knows something's here. I can't help but think if I... That is all for this episode of Nightmare. I want to thank everyone for joining in and listening on this week's episode. And I hope you all enjoyed these stories as much as I have bringing them to life. And as I always say every week, if you haven't done so, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as rating us definitely helps us get our show out there to new listeners who enjoy horror content just like this. And it's always nice to read a kind review. If you have any story suggestions, please reach out to me at nightmarepod@gmail.com. And until next time, sleep well.